All right, welcome to, this will be episode 126. 126 episode of My FX Buddies. And this is the podcast. And let's see, there's other mediums. So anywhere you want to look, just search My FX Buddies. But I do know I'm on Apple Podcasts, some other one, I can't remember the name. Of course, Spotify.com. There's video and audio. Rumble, it's video. MyFX Buddies. Um, RSS.com has a transcript that is good. If you can't understand me, and there's several of you who say that helps to have that, but also it helps if you go to the blog, which is at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com, where I follow along with the articles. But I guess if you're looking on a cell phone, it probably is hard to see because the image is so small, huh? Well, whatever works best for you, you know. And wherever you are enjoying this content, look for a more open info description, something of that type. If you click on that, then another box opens and it has a link to the blog and two other links. All right, so we'll get started. I know, 2 days in a row. Can you believe it? But I already knew I was going to post today. But I don't even remember what it was that I wanted to post. But I like this even better. So I came across this article, Bottleneck Risks Iraq's Reliance on a Limited Number of Correspondent Banks. Oh, remember, the alarm is going off because it needs a new battery. So if you're listening and you hear the chirping, that's not your house. It's here where I am. All right. So, let's see. Uh, so let me see. Uh-oh, I thought I had made, okay, yeah. Look, I even put something in red. Ooh, and I rarely do that. Usually I either bold things or I put it in blue, but I have a sentence in red. All right, Iraq's 2025 budget is expected to be the first of its kind. Really? Is it? Relying on a system of correspondent bank transfers amid the challenges of low oil prices and high domestic spending. So, how, I mean, the 2025 is still part of the tripartite budget, right? And remember, that was supposed to be the first of its kind. Well, it was. They did their budget for 2023, 2024, and 2025, which we still have not seen final accountings for 2023, 2024, right? But yeah, they're already working on 2025. So now they do have high domestic spending because they've been paying for these projects. They've been paying people and they've been putting money out to start projects. So where's that money coming from? And then oil, yeah, it's low, but it's still above. They priced oil at $70 a barrel. And like right now it's $73. But it was 80, right? I think even higher than 80. And so with everything that's going on over there in that region, they are actually expecting oil to be higher, right? But it's not. And even because the response of Ice Cream Land was so, I don't want to say weak, but oh man, you should see some of the articles. But anyway, we're not going into that. But it didn't amount to what some people thought it was going to amount to. So oil dropped like $3 from its opening. It was 76, now it's down to 73. But it's still above their $70, right? But whatever. So, and then you have people who are projecting it to go down to 65, but you still have people. When I say people, stock people, market people, bank people, right? Then you still have people saying, oh, don't worry, it'll be 75, 80. So, all right. So the Iraqi and economic and financial system is facing a major transformation with the cessation of the window and platform. So that's the auction, and then that how they're supposed to go through they're going through the Federal Reserve. That's the washing machine, I think. All right. The Federal Reserve, excuse me, and the Treasury, right? That's the platform. And that's supposed to end the end of this year, right? And shift to direct bank transfers, which may reveal gaps in the readiness of financial institutions for this change. So, who's writing this? I think it's a couple of different people. But the writer is saying, I feel like he's saying, yeah, that's supposed to happen, but we'll see, right? In light of the failure to control government spending in line with the decline in oil revenues, this is expected to lead to a large financial deficit. They say that every year. Don't worry about that. With the possibility of delaying the payment of operating expenses such as employee salaries and retirement, which threatens the stability of the Iraqi economy during this critical transitional period. So, maybe not, right? Maybe he is expecting the transition to take place. Now, economic researcher, whoever, right, see their name there, explained that the 2025 budget will be the first Iraqi general budget to rely on the dinar. That would be a first, right? Because it's usually in dollars. Now, I don't know. Is that a mistake? Is it translation? I don't think so though, because they started the opening saying 2025 was going to be unique. And you know, my timeline is January of 2025. So I was really happy to see that. But you know, we have to wait and see. So I'll say the sentence again. And if you go to the blog, this is the first article on the blog. Economic researcher Ziad Hashimi, I guess, explained that the 2025 budget will be the first Iraqi general budget to rely on the dinar of correspondent bank transfers in light of low oil prices and high local spending. This is a major qualitative shift that will not be without challenges and risks. Hey, see? So with all of that, I think he expects the first of the year to be different. I'll just say that. And so if the only way they can stop the auctions is they have to, the only way they can stop the auctions and not make the dollar price skyrocket is if they change the rate and put out the new denominations. That's the only way they can do that. So, all right, next sentence, whatever. So he tweeted that also, which I don't follow that guy. I don't even know who he is. With the window and finally the platform stopping at the beginning of 2025 and the shift towards a direct bank transfer system, the Iraqi government, the central bank, and the Iraqi economy as a whole will be facing a completely new experience that the Iraqi authorities do not seem to have prepared for adequately. And yeah, it seems that way, but if you listen, and if you didn't listen to yesterday's, if you didn't watch yesterday's video or listen, you really should. Yesterday's was good too. All right. But it is new. Okay, well, let's read this. He continued, as for the central bank, it was not able to rehabilitate and develop Iraqi banks and prepare them for the platform shutdown phase, and it will be forced to rely on only 4 or 5 banks that have the ability to pass direct transfers through their correspondent banks, which will create a large financial bottleneck. And I believe that's the only place in the article they use that word. But, yeah. So, let's go on. Financial bottleneck. Where is that? Okay. So I'm going to skip that paragraph right there. This means the Iraqi official and economic system will be exposed to a real state of suffocation or financial difficulty due to the large deficit between spending requirements and the volume of revenues received. In other words, the 2025 budget expenditures such as salaries, retirement, etc., will face serious stumbling and delay in payment with this new system. Now he's just thinking this, right? Um, worst case scenario, right? He stressed the equation in Iraq will be very complicated during 2025, with the deterioration of oil prices and revenues met by a large and uncontrolled increase in spending, without taking into account the slowdown in the global economy, and between this and that, the bottleneck of correspondent banks, which will generate a real deficit that may exceed 80 trillion. Now he says that's the best case. But anyway, that he has to, I'm sure this guy knows that they're going to change the rate, right? But they have to speak in terms of what they're dealing with right now. Okay? He pointed out that these fundamental changes coming to the Iraqi monetary and financial system and the challenges and risks they entail have not yet motivated either the government or the central bank to move and adopt a special and urgent action plan related to dealing with the variables and data of this critical transitional period, which the Iraqi economy has never experienced before. Ha! When will the central bank pay attention, and when will the government move? So, again, they move at the pace they're allowed to move at, right? And he can't, again, that's something he can't say. Some people say that, which I'll show you. There's an article here. But he's an economist, But so I really like that. I like the words. I like it saying this will be the first budget on dinar. Yeah, so. All right. So here is another article. Yesterday, they announced they're going to lower bank-to-bank interest rates. And so there's two people complaining. This guy, Salah Nuri, and I've seen this name before. Yeah, but we'll skip him because, well, I mean, you could read it, but I'm going to skip him. Prime Minister, the government is moving forward with the growth of oil and gas sectors. And there is the oil minister. He is back. So he's well enough to be back in his position. That's nice to see. The regional government to its employees, whoever does not have a biometric code will have his salary stopped by the federal finances. So now this is to the Kurdish region. And these are the state employees. And there was an article out, something like 85% of all the people who get paid work for the government. That's a lot. But so, oh shoot. Yeah, these aren't in order. But can I go down here? Let me see. No, it's not. It won't let me. Anyway, all right. So keep that in mind, what I just said. All right. The age of mafia flourishing in Iraq. People's crisis strengthened the positions of currency smuggling gangs. So if you could read that if you want to. It talks about how much they lose to smuggling and stuff like that. And here is this guy, Hussein Alawi. He is a prime minister advisor, but I'm not sure of what. This article basically is talking about everything that's going on around them, but that Iraq plays a major role in achieving regional stability. So Iraq is stable despite everything that's going on around them. It's pretty long, But it's a nice summary of what's going on. And here, fluctuating between the 50s, here's a financial expert. The dollar's decline in the Iraqi market is temporary and will not decline to the 40s. So he's this is Mahmoud Dagger. He has been, I think he was in the government before, but I know they interview him on TV. He talks about the money all the time. So he confirmed that the decline in the US dollar compared to the Iraqi dinar is a temporary situation affected by security events witnessed in the region, which is witnessing a state of calm. So it's going to remain in the 50s. So the 1550s, right? Going down to 1520, 1530s. So he's saying it's not going to get to the 14s. He doesn't really say why, but kind of he says that it has to do with Ice Cream Land, the aggression of Ice Cream Land on Lebanon and that other place that I don't say, Pizza Land. So you can read that if you want. And we'll see. We'll see if he's correct or not. Okay, now remember what I said about the Kurdish people being told if they didn't give their biometric, which is their eye scan. They scan their iris, and I think they give all their fingerprints. And there's something else too. But whatever. 150,000 Kurdish employees received their salaries digitally. But then where are they? They're at the ATM. See, there they are pulling money out of the ATMs. And these are different people. These aren't the people that I showed last week. These are a different group of people getting paid. Still in Kurdistan, though. All right, the Rabadon Bank announced it's up to 46 branches with the new comprehensive banking system. I thought this was interesting. There's some members of parliament saying, hey, forget all these contracts with these foreign companies. There's enough of us here. Just stick to Arab companies and us. So you could read that. They're probably fed up with, you know, all the interference and delays. Oh, I put this article here twice. I'll try to remember to delete it. Here. So remember I was saying some people are blatantly saying that we're messing with them. America is waging an economic war against Iraq. So you can read that if you like. It's the same thing. They're holding back their progress. That's why there's a trend towards Russia and China, and they're the only salvation from American hegemony. All right. So here, this is the other guy complaining about the decision to reduce interest. He says it is incomprehensible. Oh, um, oh, it's that guy, Ziad Hashimi. So he says reducing, you already had the rate. And well, okay, sorry. It seems to me that he doesn't understand because I was thinking this was bank to bank rate. The rate was going from 7.5 to 5.5 bank to bank, a central bank to the other banks, right? But the way he seems to understand is that that's the rate they're giving to the people. So he's saying, and if you read this, which you should, you could go down. It's past the middle, but here he has really pretty eyes. So that's how I remember him. Okay. And also, so he's in the southern part of Iraq also. But he's like, look, you had the rate at 7.5% and you couldn't get people to bring their 3-0 notes in. So you think dropping it to 5.5%, that's going to help get them to bring their notes in? So I'm probably wrong in thinking that it was bank to bank. But and it says right here, as for Iraq, the previous interest rate of 7.5% did not succeed in withdrawing the hoarded cash out of the banking system, which exceeds 80% of the issued dinar. So he still thinks 80% of issued dinar is being held in homes, and did not help in alleviating the high inflation that the citizen feels with the continued high prices of goods, blah, 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 blah. And actually, they did say that there's an article out, but I rarely talk about their inflation. But they did say inflation went down. All right. So, yeah, I like this part too. He explained that such incomprehensible decisions, that's my phone, remind and confirm that there is a clear randomness in the decision-making process of the central bank's management, as its decisions are based in many cases on the method of trial and error, reactions, or imitating and mimicking the decision of others without study. And this is a clear and specific weakness in the way this institution works. I was like, ooh, that's a way to talk bad about something without being really mean, right? Such incomprehensible decisions remind and confirm that there is clear randomness in the decision-making process of the central bank's management. But I don't know. I don't think it is. I think they're going in steps, right? They're going in steps. And he's not, remember, he's not in government. He doesn't work for the CBI. So he can only go by, maybe he gets leaked information, which could be incorrect, but he's only going by what he sees. All right. So he says, then he goes on to say it's merely a formal measure with no reason. It was created to create a fake impression among the public that the central bank's measures were successful, just as the Federal Reserve and Bank of England were successful in reducing inflation. And he says this is far from the truth. So he didn't hold back. All right, so those two articles were the main reason that I posted. So that's the rest of this will be, I'll say military stuff. So, and it's funny. There was, I call it bravado. I don't know if that's the right word, but there was a lot of, like, Netanyahu said, well, the U.S. told us we could hit XYZ, but we hit ABC, right? Like, no one's controlling him. He's doing what he wants to do. Um, the A couple of people in Irani government is, like I said, they're they're downplaying it, saying it wasn't severe. It was like child playing fireworks, right? They even had a word. They used a word, a Hebrew word, but I can't think of the word. So, they were like really making fun of the, well, I was going to say severity, but it wasn't severe. But also, they had, Iran has an air missile system thingy that uh, deflects, intercepts missiles, right? Okay, so, but there's some things that could be serious that happened. So somehow they've confirmed that this is Iran. This is Iran saying this. We participated in the strike, the ice cream land strike in Tehran, by either we gave them missiles, which we probably did, right? And then it went through Iraq's airspace. Okay, so they were going to, there was going to be a response to us. Okay, Well, I think that article's here, but I'm just going to go in order, okay? Let's see. So the Khomeini, Ayatollah Khomeini, he finally came out and said he calls for a new strike against Ice Cream Land that shows Tehran's power. All right, and I think he's the one that calls the shots. So, but also they had a UN emergency meeting at the UN General Secretary thing, but I don't know what the outcome of that was. It was granted. The meeting was granted. I'm not sure if it was today, but I'm hoping that will give more time for, whatever they're going to ask for, whatever Tehran is going to ask for at this meeting. Maybe that will hold them off, right? Okay, to exchange prisoners for prisoners, Cairo, which is Egypt, in case you don't know, proposes a 2-day ceasefire in this land here. It's 4 letters. The last 3 are AZA. So he's proposed that. And then, they don't talk directly. So they want to exchange 4 Ice Cream Land hostages with some, okay, no number, some Pizza Land prisoners. Now, these words intertwine: prisoner, hostage. So, I don't know. I don't know if it's just AI mistranslating Arabic, or if because a prisoner is someone that did wrong, right? They did a crime. That's my thinking. What makes a prisoner? Someone who's being held because they did a crime. A hostage is not. They didn't do a crime. They just are being held hostage, right? So that's why it seems weird to me, the wording. But like I said, maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just the AI mistranslating. So then after that, then there would be 10 days negotiation. So we'll see. That's an offer. For some reason, Netanyahu likes Egypt, likes to talk with them. So we'll see. So here was the response. Violent explosion rocks U.S. base in Syria. I believe this was the response for us helping. According to Iran, we helped Ice Cream Land, drop kablooies on them. See, Americans will pay the price for using Iraqi airspace. They vow to respond. So hopefully, okay, so we're at 28. Now, these people here, Bala, right? And then there's a little bit more in front of that. The Bala Brigades. They put out a statement. Let me just show you here. Oh, come on. There's their nice little statement, right? In newspapers and on blogs. And this is what it says. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, oh, you who have believed, fight those adjacent to you of the disbelievers, and let them find in you harshness. Yeah, they still write that way, right? So, using Iraqi airspace to launch strikes is a no-no. They don't like that. The aggression against, they don't even have the word. It just says the Islamic Republic. That's a no-no. They don't like that. Therefore, the Americans must pay. So I have those backwards. And so that's why I think that attack on that base, I think that's what that was. At least I hope, right? I hope that's what it was. But hopefully they're on alert and they're waiting just in case. And so here's another. This is Iranian foreign minister saying we received advanced signals. So they're both saying information's being leaked to them. Netanyahu is saying information's being leaked to him. Iran is saying information's being leaked to them. So I don't know. It seems crazy, but guess what? You are all caught up. For, like I said, if you go back and listen to yesterday's, and you listen to today's, you're all caught up for the weekend. And hopefully something good will come this week. Yeah. So I'm not going to drag this on because it's 30 minutes. So thank you for your time today listening. I hope this helps. See, things are moving forward and there's changes. We just have to wait. And you can't blame anyone. You can't blame Iraq. It is what it is. We don't have any say so in what happens, but be glad we're in it, right? Yeah. So, thank you for listening or watching or however you took part of this. And if there's a like, join, follow, what's the other one? Join, follow, something else, whatever. If there's a button like that wherever you are enjoying this content, take whatever action is necessary to activate it because I do not post regularly. And if all things work as they're supposed to, when I post, you'll be updated. All right. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals. Pay all your bills. Almost made it through without an interruption. All right. And yeah. So whatever, enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you're enjoying this. And until next time, thanks again.